Good morning, afternoon, and evening, and welcome to the vlog. I find myself against the sun, with the sun. You know what? I've got to figure this all out. I will figure it out at some point in one of these videos. But today's going to be a fun day. I've got Joseph Viganola, who is not only one of my preferred mortgage loan originators, but also a friend, coming for a ride. We're going to talk about a couple of different things. We have a network. What that network looks like is mortgage people, attorneys, inspectors, title companies. The last thing you want when you're going into a real estate transaction is someone not being able to mesh up the way you really know you should, specifically for the benefit of the client. He travels a lot. We also met via networking events, specifically with the Chamber of Commerce, and our relationship is very strong in that regard, specifically from networking and being able to connect with each other. So I want to be able to review that with Joe and enjoy the ride, grab a cup of coffee, chat it up about that, and whatever else might pop up. Let's go grab Joseph Viganola. Guys, welcome back. We've got Joseph Viganola in the car. Wave, you can do that, right? Really excited to have what I think is the epitome of what networking should look like, and that's a little bit of what we're going to touch down on today, on top of a few other things. Joe's probably one of the strongest networkers I know. He's out, how many days a week do you think you're out in your prime networking?
At least 3 days a week. At least.
And where are you going?
So I'm a member of 4 different chambers of commerces.
Don't label them.
All right.
No. I just don't care.
All right.
So you have 4 different chambers of commerces. What else?
I do a LaTip group.
Okay.
I am in a Rotary.
So you've got 4 chambers, a LaTip, a Rotary. What else? 5, 6.
I sign up for everything I can. Right. If anybody invites me somewhere, I'm there.
So 3 days a week you're out networking.
Right.
Now we met networking.
Yeah. 3 years ago.
Was it 3?
Yeah, it was 3 already. Yeah.
For me, on the other hand, starting my career late in life, networking for me was something that I had to be involved with immediately because that's what I took from my previous career. And I saw it as beneficial. Do you still see it today as beneficial as you did when you first started?
I think over time it starts to taper off because now I'm at the point in my career where you have a steady book of business and it starts to kind of lose its mojo because you're seeing the same people at every one of the meetings.
Okay. So
but
what did I used to call them? Usual suspects.
Right. Yes.
So the usual suspects, they'd show up, they eat food, they whatever, but you never really actually did any business with them. They were just always there.
They're just always there. Right.
When you go to a networking event, and I think that's where you and I had it's a really nice Lamborghini. I hope this camera picks that Lamborghini up. It's a nice looking one. And he looks at me like I'm gonna do something. The networking has to be purposeful. You're not going because now you've got kids, you've got a wife, you've got all this stuff going on. You're 3-4 days a week out of the house doing this. You have to go purposefully.
Right.
At the end of the day, you've got an hour of time. You've got to make that hour
worthwhile.
Really work. Right.
I mean, listen, it becomes more of a managing relationships after a certain point when you're in the same group for so long. So you start to lose that exciting effect from when you first join an event or a group, meeting those new people and trying to form new relationships to more maintaining the relationship that you've already formed.
I'm not even going anywhere. Just avoiding possible.
I would say networking nowadays gets a bad rap. Networking didn't work, then there would be no networking. So it clearly does work, and if it's not working,
there's a lot of networking.
Yeah, there's a lot of networking, and it's a lot of trial and error to find a group that you like. But I see a lot of new people that get into these networking groups, and I call them business card busboys.
Okay.
They just kind of circle the room, they collect cards, and they leave, and then they complain because they never got any business out of it.
You need some sort of outlet. You need some sort of interaction because, again, if you're not interacting with people, especially at networking events, and I hated the script of what do you do, where do you do it, how long you been doing it.
That's the worst thing to do ever.
And that's it.
I can't stay. When somebody starts doing that to me, I walk away.
End of discussion.
I'm like, I'm good. I'm done.
Right. But that's the end of the talk.
Going to a network event is almost like when you're going to meet somebody like that. It's almost like asking a girl out or asking, you know what I mean? Like you're going on a date. You don't just jump into being
Right.
Hello, I'm Joseph, and I do mortgages. What can I do for you? They're gonna be like, whoa, it's a little weird.
You go up, you
just start. You make conversation about anything.
Right.
Right.
You talk about something else.
Something else. Right. If there's a good spark and the chemistry works, and you're talking to somebody, and you get a good conversation going, you get their card, and the next day, you try to set up a lunch appointment for a week later.
Right. People want to know who you are. I have a very strict rule of thumb that I have to like the people that I'm doing business with.
Right.
You're getting to know that person.
Right. I always look at it this way, like I'm looking for a friend. That's the way you kind of got to look at it.
And that's the kind of relationship you want to build.
Right.
I think one of the more interesting pieces to this is a late tip group, which is a very specific group.
Correct.
The best part about late tip is the exclusivity.
Right. But it's not just LeTip. There's a lot of different groups that offer things like that. There's BNI, LeTip, New Jersey Power Partners. There's a lot of different groups that kind of have the similar setup where it's one person from every industry, and we all just refer each other business.
A slacker go into this group and say, gimme. You need to.
You got to get back.
You're very shaky.
What's that?
You're very.
I need the bars.
You need the bars. See, that's why you have this. So this is.
I know. I'm used to the one up here.
When he's not networking, he's extremely active mortgage loan originator. Mortgage loan
originator.
That's really the official title.
Yeah.
Mortgage loan originator.
You can say loan officer.
Loan officer. All the buzzwords that go around. Joe does mortgages. That's what you need to know. Joe does mortgages because
if you're buying a home, you need a loan. You need me.
So you put a lot of miles on your car.
I put 40,000 a year on my work car.
Right.
And then the family car is a whole separate thing. That'd be another 20,000.
Right. So you've got 60,000 miles.
Right. So there's no way I could lease a car, basically.
No, you're done.
There's no chance.
So you put a lot of miles on your car.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you're traveling everywhere. And it's not just New Jersey.
No. So I'm in Manhattan at least 3 days a week.
Right. And you drive into Manhattan.
Yeah. I would say about 50% of my business is based out of New York. I don't always drive into Manhattan.
Right. You take public transportation.
I take public transportation. Because
you're responsible.
Correct.
You want to reduce that carbon footprint.
Oh, absolutely.
My carbon footprint is the size of Shaquille O'Neal. Right. So you like driving?
I would have to. I have to.
So you enjoy being behind the wheel of a vehicle?
I like it. I'm not a 9-to-5 guy, so I like being on the road.
Right.
I'd rather spend all day sitting in traffic than I would be sitting at a desk.
Right.
Watching the clock tick.
Banging your head.
Right.
What's your biggest pet peeve when you're driving?
Oh, well, I'm born and raised in New Jersey, so I have a lot of pet peeves when I'm driving.
Okay.
I'm an Italian from Jersey. I'm upset at everything when I'm driving.
Right. So what's the one thing, like, have I done anything to upset you while I've been driving?
No.
Other than a little bit
having crashed, so I'm happy. That's
right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
What's your top one? You see somebody else, you're sitting in traffic, or you're flying down the highway, you're doing whatever it is.
Oh, my number one pet peeve?
Yeah. Like, what pisses you?
If you're on the left lane on Route 80, and you're driving 65 or under, can't take it. I get so upset.
Right. Oh, here it is. Let's go all the way in.
I didn't even know this existed. What is this?
It's a little market. Alright, so we're back in the car. Now, we stopped off at the 9W Market. It's the first time I've been there, but the missus on my side, she rides up here all the time for her training, and we were chatting about that. But in honor of her, because Joe, this is a car coffee kind of channel, but I wanted to make sure, because of all the effort that she puts in, I got a milkshake to really just kind of lay it on thick. You see what I did there?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, laid it on thick. Do you feel you're a good driver?
No, not at all. No.
Why not?
What's that?
Why not?
I just own the road. I have to be somewhere. Nobody else matters but me.
Right.
Like that's why I am a bad driver. I would be yelling at me if I was driving next to me.
I mean, look, I don't know what it's like to be a passenger in this thing. Actually, I do. I had a coach take me out one time, an instructor, and drove my personal car through the track how I should be driving it at the speeds that I normally do. And I was like, I'm not a good passenger.
You want to be a passenger? Let me drive it.
Let's do it.
Seriously? All right.
Have you ever driven anything this?
No.
Okay.
I am pumped.
But you got about 5 minutes of my life, and that's about it.
All right.
Past that, I'll start to freak out. I already get freaked out about driving. So pet peeves, and so you feel you're not a good driver. That's fine. And here I am
Letting you drive me car, right?
letting you drive my car.
This is sick.
And what do you think? Right?
Dude, this is not barely touching the ass.
Yeah, I know.
I'm like barely touching it.
So this is great because I get to enjoy my shake. So what do you think another pet peeve beyond, left lane drivers are, which I hate left laners too. What do you think is another big pet peeve?
I mean, you know what's funny? I get annoyed with this. I get annoyed when I see other people talking on my phone. But then if I get pulled over for talking on my phone, I'm upset with the cop.
Okay.
I say this is the stupidest rule ever. But then if I see somebody else doing it, I get upset.
Because the other people that are doing it, and look, all of our cars now come with Bluetooth and all the rest, but there's that moment where it's like I pick up the phone, or I pick up the phone in the car and it hasn't picked up, and I've got to pick it up for 2 seconds.
And then it's got to transfer over. It's a whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know why they haven't figured out the seamlessness to it, or maybe it's me. I think I'm just a little dumb with it. If there's a place you're going, what's the drive that you just, you're dread it? But you have to get there. You have to go.
That's hard.
And once you're there, it's like, I'm so happy I'm here. I'll tell you right now.
I know what it is. It's Brooklyn.
Okay.
Going to Brooklyn, the ride to Brooklyn is miserable because in my mind, it's 10 miles away and it takes 2 hours to get there. But when I'm there, I love Brooklyn. I love all the shops. I love the scenery. I think it's beautiful.
Right.
Let me ask you an interview question there.
Yeah.
You coming from Staten Island, right over the bridge from Brooklyn. Don't you wish you can go back 15 years ago and just tell yourself, buy something anywhere, just buy something.
Anything in
just
Brooklyn.
anything.
I mean, could be a shack. Yeah, if I could have told my 20-year-old self, scrape together whatever money you can and buy a shack.
Something, buy anything, right.
in Williamsburg, I'd be all good. So Brooklyn, yeah, I mean, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Come on.
Can I go that like that?
You could put it to the floor.
Woo!
All right, when the cars
All
come.
right.
So I'm a terrible passenger. I'm like, cars are coming, all the rest. There's another Corvette owner. I don't know if you made the left or the right, but that's the other thing. When you're in a Corvette, you need to know this. If you see another Corvette,
my heart is pounding.
Is it?
Yeah.
If you're in a Corvette and you see another Corvette driving, you have to wave at them.
You have to.
I mean, it's something that they give you at Chevy, at the dealership. There's you have to sign off a piece of paper. You have to wave at them. I'll show you when we're driving. If we pass another Corvette, it's that intense. We're relationship establishers. We create relationships, and that's to other, people to homes, people to mortgages, to products, to things like that. And it has to start with a great network group that you have. I think networking is vital for everyone's business to really flourish and understand what else is going on out there. And then on top of that, with the kind of miles that we put on the car, if you guys see Joe coming, I'm not going to tell you his car, I'm not even going to put it in the description, but if you see Joe coming, just get over to the right lane real quick and then pop back into the left and go however slow or fast you want. Guys, if this is your first time watching, please hit the like button, put some comments in, subscribe. That would be awesome so you get all the updates on the videos coming. And for more information, see below. There's a whole bunch of links to Joe, myself, and everything else that's going on. It's been a great time. Joe, I've had a great time, even with you driving my car.
Thanks again, bud.
You got it, brother. Because there's always going to be bloopers on my video. There's no oh shit. I told you. No grabbing. How'd you like that?
What do you think?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I think so.
I feel like my voice is a little dry.
Okay, go for it. So what you'll notice, actually, you'll feel the tires kind of. Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So because they're, what?
Oh, I feel like a kid in a candy store.
But it's fun.
It is fun.
Did you enjoy that? You had a blast?
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
A lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
cute. You want an interview and you call me out, I will pull the car over immediately and you will drive the car. This is where I'm going to get like 50 requests for interviews from people that have no relevancy to real estate. Interview requests from like charitable organizations.
Right. It's like, called the realtor. I said, listen, what would it cost to buy 3 family here? The Browns? I said, is there any way I can get, something around $700,000, $800,000? I had one realtor actually laughed at me.
And so this ride's going to be fun. There's no shitting. There's no, I think I disabled all the airbags actually because I took them out for weight. No, I'm kidding. You just wind them up and boom, and you go talk. This is the other problem with the car, is that because I'm a tall person, I pull up too close to the light, and I've learned to not do it, but I couldn't with this light. I have to do this to see the light.
But you really can't see it?
No, I'm here, I see that. That's what I see. So I've got to like duck down to go see the red light turn to a green light so I know where to go. I like the little side ones that they usually have, because I can just cruise out my window and look.
Right.
But I'm doing this, like, and everyone's like, does he have like a problem with his back? I don't, but I have to look at the light. Well, I gotta get in the car for a second. Yeah, you're like, it's like a child. Fuck him. We're recording, by the way.